Hey viewers, my name's Kara. I'm your host for Tuesdays on the Pagan Perspective, and this week we are talking about the difference between ritual and working pentacles as described in Dorothy Morrison's book, The Craft. The person who asked this question way back when did specify that in Dorothy Morrison's book, The Craft, she talks about a ritual pentacle and a working pentacle. What does that mean? I did have to look this up because I had never read The Craft, and I was looking at bookstores recently to try and find a copy of it because I found it online. I found this chapter on pentacles to sort of tell me what to talk about in this video. And I find that I would probably really like this book, so I've tried to find an actual copy, but I can't find one yet. Of course, I can order it online, but I was looking at like half-price books, and nowhere seems to have it. But everywhere has like 15 copies of the companion journal that goes along with it, so apparently people get that and just don't use it. I don't think I would either. But anyway, I think this book actually looks really useful, so I've got it up on my computer. I'm going to be reading some from it, so if you have the book, or I will put the link down there to what I'm reading from, you can follow along. The first thing I want to say is that I don't think this concept of ritual and working pentacles is a Wiccan thing so much as it is a Dorothy Morrison thing, because I've never heard any other author or Wiccan at all talk about ritual or working pentacles. So I don't think it's something that every Wiccan employs or that every person who uses a pentacle employs at all. I've never heard of this concept anywhere else but in this book. So I think this is a Dorothy Morrison thing. So I'm going to read to you from page 83 where she first introduces the idea of the two different pentacles. There are two types of pentacles, the working pentacle and the ritual pentacle. The working pentacle is a circular piece of wood or paper that is white on one side and black on the other. We use it to give magical energies the form and shape necessary to manifest in the physical world and become reality. Placed on the altar during circle, the ritual pentacle is a circular tool with a pentagram at its center, and because of its connection with the earth, it is usually fashioned of clay, wood, stone, cork, metal, or some other earth-based product. It holds cakes and wine for blessing during ritual, as well as any magical petitions or requests we desire to manifest during a working circle. So that's what she gives as the initial definitions. And then if you scroll down, or turn the page, the bottom of 85, she talks about how to make a ritual pentacle. She describes using clay and baking it. And then it also describes how to make a working pentacle. And this is really where, when I read this, I thought, how is that a pentacle? And I think that's why people don't understand what it is. So listen, she says here, although it may be constructed of wood, I find it easier and much less expensive to make it from poster board. It should be at least 12 inches in diameter for easy use. Follow these instructions, blah, blah, blah. And she says to draw a circle on the poster board, basically get a white poster board and black poster board, draw a circle 12 inches in diameter, and glue them together. Never does she say draw a pentagram on it, anything like that. And that's what confused me, and I think that's what's confusing everyone else. Because basically, if you follow those instructions, you get something that looks like this. This is just paper. I printed out a large circle. One side is black, one side is white. This one is not 12 inches in diameter, it's just a computer paper size. I just printed it out to show you. But this is what she's talking about being a working pentacle. How is this a pentacle, you say? That's what I said, because I thought there's no way this is what she means by a working pentacle. That's not a pentacle. But then I scrolled down to the bottom of page 87 where she starts talking about pentacle exercises in magical theory using the working pentacle. And in that section she describes things like using your athame, or I would use my finger, to draw a pentagram or draw pictures or write words on the working pentacle, with energy, with light, and envisioning it. And then when you go through the exercises with the black side, you flip it over and you do the same kind of exercises on the white side, just always like envisioning the lines being there, and then when they, stay there for you and you can visualize it and you can wipe it away with your hand, you move on step by step using the black side and the white side. So even though there is no pentagram on this, this is what she calls a working pentacle. And a ritual pentacle, though I don't have one, would be something like these, my necklaces, even though these are silver and pewter. It would be something actually circular with a pentagram on it, and it would be made of wood or clay or whatever you want. But it would basically be a larger version of this that you would set on your altar I don't know if you can see this, that you would set on your altar, and you would use it to set things on that you're consecrating, to set your cakes and ale on. My mom made and already sold one altar pentacle on her Etsy, which I will put a little picture of right here. It would be something about this big around, or, you know, however big you want it, but my mom's was like this. It was like 8 inches or something, and it would just set on your altar, and you would use it in practical ways in ritual. So that's basically the difference, according to Dorothy Morrison, is that a ritual pentacle is a pentacle made of some material that you can physically set on your altar and use in a ritual, whereas a working pentacle is this exactly, only bigger. You can make it out of something else if you want, that you use for working, exercising your capabilities. I have never heard of this anywhere else but from this book, so I think this was a very good question, but again, I don't think it's a necessarily universally Wiccan thing. I think it's a Dorothy Morrison concept, and I think it's a cool concept. I don't think at all that it's, you know, all Wiccans will know about this by any means. And that's why when I sent this topic to the rest of the Pagan Perspective, I included the link to this chapter and I said, this is what they're talking about. And it is pretty hard to understand, I think, just because it's so far out of what we normally conceptualize as a pentacle, because it doesn't have a star on it. We're like, what is that? At least that's how I reacted. So I think that was a very good question to pose. Thank you to whoever did it. I will put their name here. And that's it. If you can get a hold of a copy of the craft, or if you follow the link that I will put down in the info bar and just read that section, the link will go directly to the Pentacles chapter, so you'll just have to scroll a little ways down to start reading about it. Definitely check it out. I think it's a very interesting concept, and I know as soon as I saw those exercises and things, I thought, man, I should really get this book. This sounds really cool. But I think if you're into using pentacles at all, it's very good to look into. Even if you're not necessarily Wiccan, but use pentacles, I think it's cool. I always say, if it works, use it. If it works for your path, even if it's not necessarily something from your path, if it goes along with what you do, go ahead and use it. So thank you again for the topic. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys not next week, because next week is a subs week. I will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for watching, and blessed be.